One of the most common areas of discomfort in yoga practice can become wrists because of all the time that we spend on our hands and how uncomfortable the body is with this. We don't walk around our hands, we walk around our feet. So there's a certain amount of mobility, elasticity, and strength that is needed for the wrists. That can build up over time, but when taking a 30-day challenge can sometimes be extreme if the wrists haven't had any load placed on them. Ultimately, any joint in our body, its health, is established by continually placing load in an amount that it can handle and recover from. So when we place too much load too soon, it can injure. Through this wrist mobility series, you're going to start to increase the elasticity of your wrist, but you'll just have to determine how much load is appropriate for you. And if you need to modify by setting your elbows down in a class, what have you. But I want you to have this wrist warm up because this is a great thing to do for when you practice hand balancing, etc. So we're going to start just by warming up the wrist by doing a circle. So you interlock your hands and then just circle or figure eight or however it looks for you. And then change the direction. Change the interlock. Other index finger on top. And change the direction. Then prayer hands, you'll pull down towards a stretch position, relax, flip the hands the other way and pull up to a stretch position. And then do that 8 times. And then I'm just going to warm up the fingers. So you're going to do jazz hands? No, just squeeze and then stretch. And see if you can pull the fingers back towards you as you're stretching and opening. And then turn the other way so that the thumbs point out, fingers point down. Feel your forearm muscles starting to wake up. All right, then let's start to apply load. So we'll start with the hands underneath the shoulders, just slightly in front, heel of the hand lined up with the top of the shoulder, lean back, and then lean forward. And you're just doing as much lean as appropriate for you. So if you feel like, oh, it's too much stretch, my wrist can't handle that, you just go less than that. For others, you might be able to go further. Feel what feels appropriate for you today. And then let's start to make circles. And change direction of the circle. And then turn your hands out to the side. We're going to lean side to side so that the thumbs point forward, the fingers point out to the side. Now, when you're doing these exercises, instead of sinking into your hands, I want you to keep your core active. And you'll notice that it feels like a lot less pressure. So part of the health of the wrist is the ability to activate the core and use our shoulder blades and our arms appropriately. And that gets trained the more you practice yoga. If you're doing it well, if you're paying attention to those things instead of just hanging into it. Then, if you can, turn the hands all the way around so that the thumbs point out to the side, fingers point back. For some, this might be too aggressive. So just feel what's appropriate for you today. You might just stay with the hands in this position. Okay, now we're going to scoot the hands closer to the knees, and we're going to see how much we can stretch the hands the opposite way. So you're going to reach the back heel of the hand, the wrist towards the ground, not heel of the hand, and then we'll lift up, curl the fingers in, make fists, and then stretch down, stretch the fingers out. Curl up, curl fingers in, thumbs in, stretch the wrist down and stretch the fingers out. Lift up, curl in, stretch down, stretch fingers out. Okay, shake out your wrists, And the last little wrist elbow exercise I'm going to have you do is we're just going to do hands interlocked and pumping back and forth. Now you might be saying like, oh, well, if my wrists are sore, this didn't help. Well, this isn't going to eradicate any soreness that came. This is just a good mobility to keep things moving. And when something feels sore, it's a good idea to keep it moving within safe movement range, so it doesn't feel like it's exaggerating the injury. Change the interlock and move forward and back, warming up our shoulders, warming up our elbows. So this can be a great warm-up technique for you, just a few little wrist warm-up exercise before you practice if wrists tend to be an issue for you, or if you know you're really going to get after it with some arm balancing and handstanding. Thanks so much for watching this class. I hope that you found it helpful, and we'll see you next time.